with the rework coming in HGC, I was wondering if she would show up at all. She shows up in game 1.
Oh, yeah.
Has a lackluster performance. I thought that might be the end. Next game, Team Liquid makes Tyrande look like a beast.
We are going
in the right hand. She's going to be here a lot.
We're going to see her a lot. Like, Tyrande has definitely come back into the meta, and she's going to be here to stay. I am more wondering if she is going to be an early ban on Battlefield, because again, this is another map where her objective, her trade, really caters toward bringing down the objective quite easily. So you can already assume that this is going to be a map where we are going to have some bans against her. If not, then she's going to be picked early again.
It's easy to assume that she would be first pick. It would be harder to roll Snake Eyes more than getting stunned by the Immortal, and Tyrande follows up with the armor reduction. Doesn't matter who you are, you're dead. And Ev is going to get banned out.
I mean, if someone bans her out, it has to be the Monkeys, just simply because the first pick goes to Team Liquid. So, how much are you worried about Tyrande right now?
Well, what would be scarier than Tyrande? That would be the question. If I'm not going to ban Tyrande in this instance after that performance from Nurak, then who? Apparently Abath.
They hate the slug. I mean, they do. And there she is, first pick again.
I mean, Team Liquid, they're mashing mouse 1 already to lock in Tyrande. They didn't need to waste any time.
And I mean, just to put this in perspective, Tyrande, after the rework, has now been first picked 3 times in a row. So
early.
Pretty good. Very high prioritization on Tyrande. Didn't quite work out for the Monkeys when they picked her. But yeah. Reina taken. So I would say we're going to have a level 1 talent adjustment to get the extra damage up against the Immortal again. With Reina being this highly prioritized, that seems to be what that indicates.
I like these 2 choices for the Menagerie a lot. I think that they've taken an honest assessment of this match so far, and they've taken compositions that, while they can work, they have a pretty narrow margin for success with the Artanis or the Chin. Reina pretty much fits into any style of composition. It's not... You can't go wrong necessarily with Reina. So you're always going to have to supply damage. Something more straight up, something more traditional. I know you said they like to go wild on game 3, but I think they need to just play something more standard.
Oh, I would love that. I just can already see that there's something crazy coming. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love for a more normal approach here, and a little bit more of a tame one. We have Garrosh, by the way, with Tyrande, and that brings me back to the synergy that I mentioned earlier between the 2 of them, especially after level 13, when you can give Garrosh the extra movement speed, and that really allows him to just like go in and look for that flip and try and create that kill opportunity. Of course, the stuns, you can follow up out on them too. But yeah, that's going to be something that makes it very... It's going to make it very tricky for the front line of the Monkeys once that 13 is there, and Tyrande can just speed up Garrosh whenever she wants.
Haven't seen ETC in a while. Merlin and ETC. In a few instances, especially with Heroes Heart Esports, we've seen ETC be something of a serviceable solo laner. Not exactly what I was expecting, but okay.
I am also curious because I'm wondering if they're actually going for 3 melees here. Now, ETC is pretty...
unkillable.
ETC can be pretty okay. I only mind him as a main tank right now because he's a little bit too squishy in most compositions. But if you play him as an offlaner, he can be pretty solid. And Alex has chosen the hero in the past. It gives you a global, you have a lot of peel potential and can just like keep someone at bay, so I don't mind that. Blaze and Hammer. So Hammer already in terrifying draft for Liquid.
Yeah, late game percentage-based damage is always going to be nice against the likes of ETC and Murden, but White Man is so strong with the sustain. How do the Monkeys decide to round this out? They're dealing with a lot of long-range poke now. Yeah, they have a meaty front line. Li Ming and Sergeant Hammer, thank God they didn't go Ginger Dread and Zebo.
All right, Nazebo in, and I mean, Nazebo has become a bit of a counter to Sergeant Hammer because it makes it really easy to get, for example, the Spider Quest stacked up, or in general just like hit those. So he has started to come in here. Interesting map for him. Makes it harder to stack your base quest and then get the power spike on level 20. It's also a map that is oftentimes decided before, or at least like leaning heavily in the favor of a team before level 20 is hit. Could see maybe a bit of a build adjustment because of that. I'm going to be curious to see how they're going to play it. I mean, I like it against Hammer. Has been played a lot in Europe against Hammer as a tool, so that was great. But again, it's a map where you usually don't get too much soak, and therefore you can't really stack your base quest that easily. So I want to see what exactly, how much value they're going to get out of that choice.
They have to be thinking entirely just to counter the hammer, because it would be exceedingly ambitious to think you're completing this quest against Liquid on a 2-lane battleground with Nazeebo. My question is, will the damage of the monkeys be enough to warrant Murden and ETC's lockdown?
I could have seen Gul'dan. Crosby likes to play Gul'dan and played it a ton in the past, and this is something where I could have seen Crosby head into that and try and use that. They have the peel. But we're going to find out who's going to take game number 3 as we're heading into Battlefield of Eternity with Crosby on the left, on Nazeebo. Make playing here for the Monkeys. On Reyna, we have, of course, on the side lane, Alex with ETC this time, Rema Baller on Murden, and Splenda on Whitemane.
Over on the right side, looking to close this series out, it's Team Liquid. Nurak back again on Tyrande. Hasuaz is playing Sergeant Hammer. Sport Billy is looking to throw on Garrosh. Arcaner's playing Li Ming, and Eternal be looking to cook people with Blaze.
Nothing too crazy in terms of talents. One thing to point out is that we have an adjustment on level 1 for Murden. Makes sense against Hammer and against Tyrande that you're thinking about the auto attack, so block is taken by Rema Baller on Murden. Have seen also, of course, a lot of players go into third wind here on Murden just simply because you have these stalemates in the middle of the map quite often where you are going to take that poke damage from a hero like Li Ming and you're trying to move out, heal back up and move back in. And that normally works well for you. What doesn't really work well for the Monkeys right now, and for Mark in particular, is all the poke damage that is hitting him.
I've just been enjoying a sensible chuckle this entire time. Like, Mark is such a trooper. He's just standing out here taking these missiles to the face. How long is he going to do it? Doesn't last too long. Arcaner, with impunity, goes through the side wall and does a ton of damage to that tower.
It looked a little bit like whack-a-mole. Every single time Jimmy showed his face, whack.
I was like, he can't keep doing this one forever. Hasuaz, they were probably looking around like, is he serious? Stormbolt goes out on to Rimmer Baller, but Hasuaz, he's going to be tough to jump on with the knockback and the zoom from him.
When we saw the high priority on Jimmy, I already talked a little bit about the level 1 talent, and we have actually that taken now. So Exterminator is now the adjustment that we have, getting the extra damage in against minions, mercenaries, and monsters, and by 50% and then 100% if Inspire is active. So basically, you're trying to get the extra damage out against the Immortal, and that really helps you. It also, of course, helps with wave clear on the map, but that's the main reason.
When Hammer is open and selected in draft, we see instances exactly like this, where in the early game, a team just dominates the wave clear, dominates the structure damage, and they don't have much of a response. Crosby can throw as many spiders as he wants, but it's just not enough pressure to stop Hasuaz. He's just like, anyway, okay.
Especially when he doesn't hit them.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I mean, he's sitting at 32 stacks on it now for the level 1 quest, but yeah, they lost the entire wall already. Well, I guess the gate is still there. The towers are gone, and therefore the experience as well. And Liquid is just looking at this and like, yeah, this is fine. This is working well for us. There's very little to actually do against Hammer here. Nazeebo can throw a couple of spiders out. Reyna can maybe use a penetrating round. But there's at least the invade, and here comes Tyrande, the damage, and goodbye, Jimmy. Camp is taken, kill secured, and Team Liquid has a fantastic start in the game number 3.
I mean, Hasuaz just stays in siege mode, not taken down to even half health, and Reyna had to step forward to do even that. Immediately gets rocked, nets first blood for Team Liquid. They have to feel great about their chances to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you have... You're not going to run into the first objective with a talent lead. That rarely happens. But what you can definitely do is you have now a stat advantage through that level advantage that you call your own. And you can definitely try and get a bit ahead here. So for Liquid, this is fantastic. And they have Tyrande. Let's not forget about that. We've been talking the entire time how Tyrande, especially on Battlefield of Eternity with her rework, is now going to find extra value. So we have a lot of potential to just burst an Immortal down. And that is what Liquid is already trying to do, as they're even setting up the camp at the top lanes, at the bot lane now. So it's really them spreading themselves a little bit thin. But so far it works out well.
So far, the Monkeys are trying to win this war on a number of fronts. They have Reyna down bottom, pushing in the Bruiser camp. Hasuaz stands to get more value with Sergeant Hammer than Reyna will. There's the Groundbreaker. There's the toss from Rimmer Baller. He's on to Rimmer Baller. He's going to be able to jump out himself, though. Hey, raise a moment.
That was an important jump. If that Tyrande stun connects, he's actually locked into the Immortal stun, too. So that was a really important escape. Hammer still doing work at the top lane though, and Monkeys are therefore on a timer. And
Oh!
another kill. Down he goes. Goodbye, Jimmy.
Where'd Rainer go?
Yeah. He had better things to do.
Apparently, burst damage is a thing on the side of Team Liquid. Another takedown on Jimmy.
Now level 7 for the Monkeys should make it a bit easier because intercession for white main becomes an option here. But it is definitely rough. It is the strength of a Tyrande composition when you have that synergy. And at this point, Liquid has it. They're looking at it again.
Ooh.
Storm Ball, Jet Propulsion. Rimmer Baller has his Muradin. Doesn't die here. But he gets slapped around pretty hard in that moment.
That was spicy because the Lunar Flare stopped the Dwarf Toss, so he was just there to right-click and try to escape. Somehow he was able to do so. There's the throw. He does have the Dwarf Toss available now. And you said it's hard to go into the first objective with a tier advantage. Team Liquid said, challenge accepted.
No, into the first one. They secured it with it. A little bit different. No, but like, be it as it may, with the level 7 talent here and the Immortal, they are in a great spot. And so far we don't have 7 for the Monkeys, so they have no intercession yet. Remmer Baller eating the damage again. Arcana has on 7 now Calamity available, so that did also a lot of work here and pushed Muradin even farther back. But yeah, Liquid taking down the fort at the bot lane, easy peasy. And in the same time, we have Blaze pushing out the top lane too.
This is such an uphill battle for Monkey Menagerie. Rimmer Baller in particular. It's not enough that it's just the Lunar Flare connecting after the Garrosh throw. It's that Norak is timing them right as he's trying to Dwarf Toss out. That perfect timing is there almost every time. So the escape of, all right, I'm thrown out of position, I can just jump away. He doesn't have that available to him.
Yeah. Also, with level 7, we have intercession now, so that's at least something. You can have that ready whenever there's a serious attempt by Liquid to go for a kill. So Splendor has to be careful and play around that cooldown. Also, when we talk about quest talents, I mean, the one thing I really want to highlight is Nazebo, who's currently sitting at 47 stacks on his base quest. So that's definitely a bit of an issue right now, and it highlights again the problem that you oftentimes have on a 2-lane map, especially with the objective focused into the middle of the map to get that quest completed.
Here's something of an ambitious talent choice, in my opinion. Rimmer Baller went for Skullcracker at 7. He feels he's going to get 3 successive, consecutive auto attacks on someone and not die. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of damage goes on to Alex the Progy. There's a knockback to get the zombies off of Eternal. Arcaner just hanging out on the flank, throwing orbs at his discretion.
Rimmer Baller has taken Skullcracker at level 1 too. Like, he really likes that talent on Muradin. Like, it's one of his preferred ones. I mean, he can definitely provide you with a lot of utility more so, but on a damage front, he's definitely not quite able to keep up with other Muradin players, and that is one of the reasons why that is. So yeah, but Skullcracker is one of his go-to talents when he plays the hero.
I mean, I thought he had the Rainer skin where his head's on fire anytime he gets thrown out of position. I just don't see him able to stand up and get value out of that talent. We'll see, though. Tries to stick his pinky toe onto the siege camp, has to back away. A nice 2-person stun from Norak. He cannot get Tyrande. Like, he is just a menace right now.
The problem is they can't get onto the backline. Monkeys have a tough time doing that. Once we have level 10 abilities that might change with the stage dive as a potential, very likely potential for ETC. But I mean, look at the experience right now. The Immortal comes down. Liquid is closing in on level 10. They have an easy time going for the Immortal at this point. And that is going to be a free second objective for them if they play their cards right. And that's exactly what they do. They have Sport Billy already setting up for a bit of a flank. Eternal is at the front. They are trying to get that. There's a 10. They can use Taunt now.
Ooh, there's the jet propulsion. And
yeah, didn't even have to use Taunt. Didn't use a single heroic ability there. Just moved in. Blew Rainer up. Even Intercession was used on the side of Sport Billy. Not even, sorry, on Splendor's side. Not even that helped them. So that's a massive Immortal. Talent advantage, and yeah.
Caldor, it looks like it hurts. Every time these orbs land, it's at least half a health bar. Crosby's going to get thrown. He knows what's happening. That's going to be the 4th takedown for a Team Liquid that is in full control of this game right now.
Yeah, didn't even move there. Also, really? Ravenous Spirit against the Tyrande with level 4 Lunar Blaze?
Ambitious. Awfully ambitious.
What?
Arcana Oswald makes short work of this top fort, and the stage is set for at least a top keep wall push. There's still shields on the second Immortal of this game. Everyone has mana.
Yeah.
Heroic's going to be here, taunt in a few seconds. Team Liquid, they might look to make this a sub-10-minute game if they get the takedowns they want.
I mean, Haymaker is now also chosen on Muradin. I can't really say that shocks me too much.
Oh.
Hyperion comes out. But yeah, ETC is going to wait for that stage dive into the back line, but ideally Liquid wants to have that keep. They're not quite going to get that yet. There's no talent advantage anymore. Here comes the stage dive into the front. Immediately the taunt comes out. Alex is low, Bunker on the ground. And Monkeys is in trouble with Alex. Eternal is just trying to make his life a little bit harder too. Rumballer jumps out, but yeah. Monkey with the engage, but Liquid is not impressed.
What's tough about this is that this was the team fight that Monkeys needed if they wanted to turn this game around. Even talent tiers, Liquid far away from home. They're overextended because the Immortal's down, and they come away with nothing. Now, granted, they don't lose anyone themselves, but if there was an opportunity for them to get offense, that was it. And Alex the Pro G eats another orb. Dodgeball is for real right now.
Arcana goes in, has a wave of force there, and they go for the kill, and that's not going to be the only one. They're going for Marker next, and he is definitely going to fall. There's no way. Gets slapped around the entire map, basically, with that, and it's just hurting. Billy hasn't even used Taunt anytime recently, so he could use that too if he gets close on anyone else. But this is just brutal. 6 kills against 0. I mean, this is what you expect from a Tyrande composition. The damage is there. Arcana follows it up.
And Arcana is roaming around the map with an 8x zoom scope on his lead man. Like, these magic missiles have been hitting in triple pretty much every time. These orbs have been hitting at near full range. Ask Rainer's face. Like, it's been devastating on the back line of the Menagerie.
85 stacks for Crosby on his Space Quest. 20 for Rumballer. Ooh. Wait, what?
Caution thrown to the wind. They do find Eternal. Not in a position to body block the jet propulsion. Remember, might be better served for that. Uses the Haymaker as a disengage tool. The zombie wall also. Hyperion thrown down. A lot of resources on his tier disadvantage fight. So far, not netting to. Ooh, that BFG.
Yeah, that hurt. And there's another connect. 14 stacks now for Nurok on his level 4 quest, so he's definitely hitting those Lunar Flares quite nicely. Alex using that stage dive was ambitious, but okay. So, again, we're seeing Liquid with a talent advantage and starting to control the situation.
Poor Billy chasing back Alex the Pro G, defending the Immortal. Tier advantage still firmly in the hands of Team Liquid, who look to kick off the halftime show. Crosby trying to get what kind of poke that he can in there. But anytime he sticks his neck out and blazes range, you know Sport Billy's going to be ready to follow up for a threat.
I mean, Zebo definitely does work on the Immortal. So as long as he connects those, that is actually not too bad. And we have seen Monkeys take a lead in the Immortal race at the beginning of all of this. And so they have it down to a half HP. Both of the solo laners have started to move off and make sure that they're defending the structures in terms of Monkeys as a keep inside of Team Liquid. That's a fall at the bot lane. But the talent advantage is still in favor of Liquid, and they are starting to play this slow here. So I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. If somehow Monkeys get the jump on that, they have the chance of actually grabbing an objective here.
There's an Unstoppable getting used. Also on the Zebo is going to be able to get around after the jet propulsion.
Taunt.
A lot of damage goes in after the taunt. Rumballer can't get the dwarf toss. He's looking for the follow-up damage. And then the stage dive comes in. Hits the trampoline just to help Rumballer get out of there. More often than not, Caldor, we see the Menagerie using abilities to escape rather than be on offense.
Yeah, but a lot of heroics were also used from Liquid there that didn't really work out for them to get that kill. But they're poking away at that Immortal now, and that thing is losing hit points fast. Bunker is also still around for Blaze. It's another big tool for them. Attempts by the Menagerie to somehow control the space here, but it's difficult against what Liquid has.
There's a lot of poke damage to deal with. It's hard to find a way in, especially once you use stage dive. You don't have that immediate all-access pass to the back line. You see ETC in a more head-on direction. It's that much more simple for Sergeant Hammer to post up, get prime positioning. Caldor, I'm calling it now. The garage throw into the Tyrande stun, the alley-oop.
Well, there we have already, again, Unstoppable use, but the jet propulsion comes through, and that's Muradin down. With them just getting 13, it was a chance for them to come back, and Harsh Discipline definitely allows them a lot with it, but they can't make good use of it. Muradin goes down, Reyna follows, and that is another objective in favor of Team Liquid. 8 kills against 0. Monkeys just not finding any opening here.
Arcana's just going around the map with an eraser. Like, he's just... anyone he finds with a blue health bar, they're not sticking around for too long. That's going to be another Immortal. Jet propulsion just misses. Splendor in a tough spot, to say the very least. Throws down the road to try to save themselves. but yeah, he's not getting out of it.
That's a staggered death right there, and the Immortal is already pushing with 2 heroes, so that should very much be keep. If they come in with the rest of the team, that should be key. With the support gone, it also means that you don't have your intercession on level 7, so the cleanse isn't there. Can't supply any unstoppable, so a huge problem.
Well, the heroic was also used too, so there's going to be a 20-second gap when White Mane is back, but the armor isn't going to be there, so this might be keep. And with Raider getting taken down, this could very well be game.
Yeah,
there's the taunt immediately after stage dive. Oops.
Yeah, it's like if you stage dive, you just telegraph where you're going to be in a second. And so we saw Garrosh immediately say, like, dude, that's fine. And they're taking on Murden. And that is not only going to be keep, that is going to be game if they play it right. 3 levels ahead, and extra talent, and Sergeant Hammer in the composition. Good luck dealing with that spot.
Arcane are putting so much damage onto Crosby. The shield is down. The core falling to 70% and rapidly going down. Team Liquid show up strong in week number 9, taking the series over Monkey Menagerie.
Yeah, pretty much what you would have expected here. Team Liquid with a dominant performance against the Monkeys. Tyrande making a huge comeback after the rework. First pick 3 times. And we have Team Liquid taking the Monkeys down with a 3-0.
This is what a lot of people expected going into the series. This is exactly what we got.